Okay, we are live on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. Muscle health after 45, what actually matters. That is what we're going to talk about today. If you don't know me, I am Liz Philippone. I help people stay strong, confident, and independent by combining evidence-based training with mindful movement and nervous system support. I'm a multi-certified fitness and yoga professional specializing in strength, mobility, and corrective exercise for midlife and older adults. And my approach focuses mainly on building resilience, not perfection. So my clients can move better, reduce pain, and continue doing what they love for years and years to come. That is me. I am also the moderator in the Facebook group Mindfully Fit for Life. That is my private Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, thank you for watching. If you are on YouTube right now, I would love for you to like, subscribe to my channel. It just helps it grow more. I really want to grow my YouTube channel as an educational outlet and, just to really share about what's going on in the fitness health world. Okay. And we are going to talk about muscle health today. And I'm so excited to talk about this because I have talked about this before, right? But, I like to bring some of these topics back because I feel they are very important to be heard again. Because let's face it, new research comes out. I discover new things. I hear things from people that I work with, whether it's my clients or colleagues, about this area of this topic, about muscle health. Right? This is not talking about bodybuilding. I'm not talking about bodybuilding, right? We're not talking about you got to lift all this and that, right? Most people think maintaining muscle after 45 just means lifting weights. I got to lift weights. I got to do weight bearing exercises. And strength training is absolutely important. I believe in that. And that's a big component of my programming. But it's only one piece of the puzzle, one piece of the whole thing. So muscle health after 45, I'm just going to say it. It's about preservation, recovery, and support, not just building. Can you build muscle after 45? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it different from men and women? Absolutely. There's differences there on how a man and a woman build muscle. Okay. There is a difference. Okay. So in the comments, I asked my Facebook page, my email list, this question this week. What feels hardest about maintaining muscles right now? Is it recovery, energy, protein, or consistency? I would love for you to drop your answer in the comments, whether you are watching this live with me or the recording. Okay, because I know this will be available as a recording. So please just drop your answer in there and I will go back and read these comments because I always do. I have to say, when I asked this, I didn't just get one answer. Some people say all of the above, but everybody gave me at least 2 answers to that. And I want you to just speak, just answer, try not to overthink it. What's alive for you right now when it comes to maintaining muscle? Or are you even trying to maintain muscle? I don't know. Maybe you are interested in actually looking into strength training, right? And keeping yourself strong and healthy, right, as you get older, because that's what this is about. And that's who I work with. That's how I am in my journey right now. Is I'm all about staying healthy and strong, and how do I maintain that through the changes that I go through in my life, in my journey. Okay, so I've talked about some of these changes. I'm going to unpack some of these changes that happens after 45. In fact, some of it starts before our 40s, but a lot slower pace. It's when we turn 45, 50 is when all of these things accelerate. Okay, our muscle health declines actually quicker after 45, 50 years old. Really, it's like 50. It really accelerates. So, sarcopenia. I talked about this a few live streams ago when I was talking about my Foundation First program, which is up and running. Yeah, I want to share some stuff about that. I got to make sure I remember that. But sarcopenia, that is the natural age-related muscle loss. This is just what happens. It is the process of where we lose our muscle mass. And that is why we get frail at an older age if we're not building and keeping our muscles strong, right? We're not doing certain activity to maintain healthy muscle, physical activity, but also other ways, but mainly physical activity. We start to lose our muscle, and we don't want that, right? Because that's how we fall. We get different injuries, right? As we get older, right? All of a sudden these injuries come out of nowhere, right? You just wake up one day and you strain yourself just by getting out of bed or trying to tie your shoe or going up the stairs or whatever. And I'm naming all these things because it's happened to me already. I'm not super old here. I'm only 47. I'm 47. I'm going to be 48 in about 3 months. But I've noticed these things. It's like just reaching for something. Ow. Like, what the hell is that, right? That's sarcopenia. That is one of the changes that we face when we are after 45 years of age. But actually, the whole muscle loss thing starts to slowly decline in our 20s and 30s if we're not doing anything about it, right? It's a slower process. It just speeds up after we reach a certain age. Another change is hormonal changes. Yep. Hormones are the messengers in the body. They take messages from this area of your body to the other, right? Talking to each other, right? For instance, insulin is a hormone, right? Cortisol, stress hormone, that's a hormone, right? It activates whether we are in danger or stressed out, right? Cortisol shoots up, or it turns off if we're safe and relaxed. And then insulin, right? When we with the pancreas, right? That works with the pancreas. It sends, those messages throughout the body. If it's low blood sugar, too much sugar, things like that. That's just a basic sort of thing. But then it's estrogen, right? Estrogen, ladies, but this is for men too. Estrogen declines, and this impacts muscle repair and metabolism. I'm going to say that again. Estrogen declines after 45, which impacts the process of muscle repair and metabolism, okay? Ladies out there, do you find that it's harder to lose weight as, you get into your late 40s, into your 50s? And if you're past that, did it happen, right? Did it happen for you? Estrogen plays a huge role. It's not just a woman thing, right? With reproductive stuff. It's a big part of it, but it's also very connected to bone health, okay, as well. Another change is slower recovery. Muscle tissue takes longer to repair. Have you ever had an injury, right? You're 45 plus, right? You've ever had an injury or a surgery or anything like that, and it just takes longer, right? You sprain an ankle, break a finger, do something with shoulders. I was just talking to a client last night she had a rotator cuff issue, and it's like, she's like, it's finally getting better, but it's been so long. Yeah. It's just, it happens. We recover a lot slower. We actually have to take more time to rest our bodies. Another change is anabolic resistance. I'm not going to go too far into this, but sort of, because this involves protein, right? The body doesn't respond to protein as efficiently. It responds to it, but not as efficiently as it did, you know, when we were younger. And this is why muscle health becomes more intentional after 45. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter, right? How often have you heard that one? All right, so I know that was a lot to unpack right there, okay? And I'll just summarize them. So the changes that go through our muscle health is sarcopenia, the decline of muscle mass, hormone changes, slower recovery time, and anabolic resistance. Okay, so moving on. So I'm just going to mention 3 pillars of muscle health. Okay, so, and I talked about this in my email. If you're not on my email newsletter, if you are on my YouTube channel right now, you can go to my main channel page. If you click the links that are highlighted there, there is a link to join my newsletter, because I do a weekly newsletter on stuff like this. And you get to know when my next lives are. You get to get the replay, you know, reminders sent to you, all that stuff. So sign up for my newsletter. If you're in my Facebook group, you pretty much are on my email list. But if you're not, please comment, I want to be on your email list, something like that, so that I know to add you. So the first pillar is strength stimulus. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? And just to keep this basic and simple, it basically means that muscles need challenge to maintain strength. They need to be worked in a particular way, and they need to be challenged in order to maintain the strength, right? So I'm going to just use the bicep curl, pressing, right? Because, you know, if we want to travel and we want to put that case in the overhead, right, on the airplane with ease and confidence, we need to be working on our overhead presses. I know sometimes because of surgeries and different restrictions, you can't do that, right? That might be the reality. However, if you're pretty good right now doing overhead, that's something that you can do, right? So that's just an example of resistance training, okay? Doing resistance training with dumbbells, kettlebells, or even bands. I love bands. Bands are so good, especially when you're learning, right, about strength training. Resistance bands, oh my God, they really teach you how to activate certain muscle groups. Functional movement, you know, which is your squats, your lunges, stair climbing, your push-ups, you know, different functional movements like that, you know, different lunges, you know, lateral, different planes of motion, you know, moving to the side, moving backwards, all those things, right? Functional rotation, right? You know, putting that seatbelt on, whether we're driving or we're passengers, right? Stability work. I know, it's that stability word again. I talked a lot about that last week and the week before when I was promoting my Foundation First video series, right, which kicked off this week. It's huge. You need to have that foundational work. I should have put that at the top though, right? Because it should go in that order. Stability work, functional training, resistance training. All right. So this is why I emphasize functional strength, balance, mobility in my programs. They all go hand in hand. Okay, that is about strength stimulus, right? We need to stimulate the muscles to strengthen and maintain strength. All right, let me know if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, let me know too. All right, pillar 2 is protein intake. Protein. I mentioned this earlier in my poll that I shared. And there's that anabolic resistance, right? But protein provides the building blocks for repair. I was just telling a new client, this is like her third session with me, or third or fourth session with me, and I actually had the conversation of how important protein is, especially as we get older. Our nutritional needs change as we get older. I highly suggest, if it's something that, if you really feel that, like, I'm doing everything to, maybe you're already in a strength training routine and things are changing, you don't know why, and you're like, why isn't this working? I'm eating this, I'm eating that. Talking to a dietitian is very helpful, because nutrition is not one size fits all. Okay, everybody's different with that one. But protein is the provider of the building blocks for muscle repair. So not just muscle repair, but energy balance too, believe it or not. A lot of my clients, women especially, they've noticed after strength training with me how much more energy they have. They're just like, Liz, I feel more energized. I do too. And it's one of those things that you have to sort of feel, right? You have to do it to feel it. But most of the women I work with, that's what they say. I feel so much more energy after I lift some weights, do some resistance training, right? Metabolism, it balances metabolism out to protein, right? It definitely balances blood sugar for sure. I know that. One example is that it balances blood sugar immensely. Okay. And women especially under consume protein when we really should be upping our protein. Not to the point where you cannot digest it, right? But you really should be adding a little bit more protein. This is what I tell my clients. Add a little bit of protein to each meal a day, right? If you're not used to eating like so much protein, you don't want to go full force right away. You're going to get like a stomach ache. You're going to get bloated. It's going to clog, it's just, you got to ease into it, right? Let your body get used to it. Does anyone here, please answer in the comments, does anyone here track their protein or even just pay attention to it? Let me know, because I would love to know. It's just information for me to know, because I track my protein that I take daily. Okay, the third and final pillar, strategic recovery support. So, recovery, right? I am going to talk supplements for a second, but before I go into supplements, another approach to recovery is, those rest days. What are you doing on the days that you are not physically active? And I mean, not just lifting weights, but like maybe you have a high labor job, right? Or you take care of a loved one, and it's a lot of energy, right? You're lifting, you're helping move things. You are being physical, right? What about the days when what are you doing on those days? Are you actually letting yourself rest? Are you hydrating properly? Are you stretching, doing some stretching, like 5 minutes of stretching or mobility work, meditation? Okay. I talk about nervous system support. That's what I do. I do help people with those other aspects of health, right? Your nervous system, all right? It's about that down regulation, okay, that we don't always do, right? We're always uppity. It's like, how about that down regulation that we absolutely need more of these days in this time, in this world? I'm just going to say that much, right? Our nervous systems are jacked up. But going into a different kind of support with like different supplementation, I've talked about creatine. Definitely go back to prior videos, especially in my YouTube channel. If you go back to my lives, because there are videos, there are categories. You have shorts, you have videos, and then you have lives. If you go to my lives category and you scroll down a little bit, you will find some information on creatine that I did. And creatine does support that strength, that maintenance, okay, that muscle health. It's how really helps with cellular energy. Okay, it's creatine monohydrate. When you think of hydrate, I think of like hydration, right? And mono, like cell, right? Like one cell. It's like one, like every cell in your body, it will restore that energy supply. Brain health. Creatine has been linked to better focus and productivity. So brain health. I'm telling you, you can Google all this. I'm not lying. And then that recovery of your muscles. All right. So it is one of the most researched supplements available. And I have some recommendations that I can give you at the end of this live. I take 2 different kinds of creatine right now, but there are some contraindications with creatine, right? If you have any kidney or liver conditions, always check with your doctor. Usually if you have a really serious kidney thing, creatine is not recommended. However, there's other options, right? Which is what I'm going to go into next, which is collagen, bovine collagen and marine peptides. So collagen, the bovine collagen, which actually that supports your joints and your bone health, connective tissue, the inside, right? I mean, even marine peptides too, they also help from the inside out too. But bovine collagen is what really supports joint health, bone health, muscle health, that sort of thing too, right? Connective tissues, the fascia, which is including tendons, right? Your tendons that connect muscle to bone, your ligaments, which connect bone to bone. Did you know any of this? And then your joints, right? Like this is a joint, this is a joint, this is a joint here, hip joint, ankle, knee. Okay, all those joints are collagen supports. And then of course, connective tissue. I call connective tissue, it's like the saran wrap that wraps from head to the bottoms of your feet over everything, every muscle, joint, tendon, ligament, organ. Okay, it's like saran wrap. Okay, I call it the saran wrap of the body. All right. Like when you have a knot, you have like, oh, I have a knot, and a massage therapist gets that knot. That is a whole bunch of clogged up connective tissue. Yes. All right. So protein builds the muscle fibers and collagen supports the structure around the muscle. Does that make sense? All right. So collagen, it's considered a protein, but it's not like a true protein. So we want the protein to build the muscle fibers to repair the muscle from different work that we do, or we challenge the muscle, the stimulus. And then the collagen supports the structure around the muscle. Okay. So the 3 pillars are strength stimulus. To review, strength stimulus, which is muscles need a challenge to maintain strength. Number 2 is protein intake. Okay, because protein is the building blocks for repair. And pillar number 3 is strategic recovery support, whether that is active recovery, workouts, or supplements, which balance the body. Alrighty. And that's what muscle health is about after 45, right? There's so much more to unpack, but those are the key things that I really wanted to share today. We want to climb those stairs comfortably, right? I'm just going to make that point, is that it's about climbing those stairs comfortably and safely and confidently, getting up off the floor confidently, carrying groceries easily, and feeling strong every day. So, which of these areas do you want to learn more about? Please answer me. I would love to know, because I will take your comments into consideration. You can also email me if you're on my email list. You know how to find me. Shoot me an email. Which one of these do you want to learn about? Protein? Because I can recommend a supplement that supports protein response and hormone support in one for both men and women. It's not just for women, and it's plant-based as well. So let me know. I'm going to probably talk more about that next week. Creatine. Do you want to learn more about creatine? I also can recommend a couple of different things. I use a product called Longevity Core Plus that has clear whey protein. It's not plant-based. Sorry. So if you're a plant-based person, it does not have, that's whey protein, bovine collagen, and creatine monohydrate. That has all three. Oh my God. It's pretty good. I definitely feel a good energy boost from drinking that. You just have to drink it consistently to really feel the results from that. And then collagen, there's a collagen marine peptides, which is another way this helps with skin, hair, nails, but also does help with the connective tissues, because at the end of the day, it's like all connected, right, to that. So these are three things that if you want to learn more about, I have some great products that I can share with you in a little bit more detail. But the first one, protein, is Triple Boost. Okay, it not only helps with that protein synthesis, right, that protein response, right, but the hormone support that you need. And it's plant-based, and it comes in 2 flavors, vanilla and chocolate. I haven't tried the chocolate yet, but the vanilla is pretty good. And then there's the Longevity Core Plus, which has the creatine in there, but it also has the clear whey protein and the collagen bovine, all 3 in one. It's pretty cool. And then there's just like regular collagen marine peptides. I use that one as well. I put that in my coffee and my tea, my matcha tea especially. And that one is brilliant. I mean, I don't know. My hair has been like, I don't know, you guys. My hair, I have noticed a huge difference in my hair and my nails, and overall stiffness in my body from including these products into my diet. So hi, Flo. I see you're on Facebook. I'm about wrapping this up. So if you're interested in any of these products that I take and you would like to try them, if you've never ordered anything through me, I get all my products from a company called Hue & Grace. They are big in hormone support for men and women, and really take in consideration the ingredients that they put into their products, because that's a big thing with me. I'm all about clean, minimal ingredients, especially with supplements, and they take that into consideration. Comment muscle, the word muscle, and I can send you a promo code to get $10 off your first order with me. So I'm happy to have a conversation with you about any of this. Please reach out to me. You can comment here. You can shoot me an email. You can Facebook message me. You know how to reach me. Just go ahead and do it. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.